So we've now come to the edge of part of the beaver territory here down at the Dew Loch in Knapdale. All this open water we can see behind us is an expanded existing loch. The loch was here for many years beforehand, but beavers dammed an outflow point from this loch and have made it virtually double the size that it was prior to the beavers damming the site. Beavers are aquatic animals, very much so. They're very happy in the water and they're well designed for the water, and they don't like being caught out on land, but obviously they need to come on to land to feed occasionally. Although they do eat green vegetation and pond and loch plants growing in and around the water, they need to come out of the water obviously to get to trees and shrubs that they eat. And at this point here we can see beavers have been making their way out of the water along a bit of a trail here, and the trail disappears off over into the woodland behind us, and we're going to follow that to an area where the beavers have been feeding to have a look at a few more of their field signs. As I'm walking on the edge of the beaver loch in here, there's lots of signs of beaver activity in terms of tracks and trails. A bit like badger or deer tracks, beavers use well-worn trails. The difference is they always come from straight out of the water. So linking areas of water and woodland, and this is a well-worn trail to a forage area. So as I've come in here, there's quite a lot of beaver activity, and you can see felling in stumps. Some of them are older, some of them are much more fresh as well. And if we can move forward, what we can see here is a small but a good example of a feeding station. Beavers are similar in ways to water voles, that they have points right at the water's edge where they'll collect food and gather it, and then they'll come to that point and then they'll sit there and eat it. Potentially if there was danger around or disturbance, then the animals can get into the water and swim away from potential danger very quickly. This is a small feeding station. They can be much bigger than this, but there's a few signs here that again are typical of beaver. These tiny little stripped twigs which have had all the bark taken off to them, and then these very characteristic sharp edges where they've been bitten off in one bite by a beaver are piled around as the beaver, as we can see here, has picked it up and actually stripped the bark off one part of the twig, and obviously the bark is still remaining on that one. And similar again to a water vole, they're manipulating them with the front feet and stripping the bark off and then discarding the ones when they're finished with them. On a bigger stick, on a branch from one of these trees, again if we zoom in, we can see these characteristic double chisel-like marks from the beaver teeth as it's systematically gone round and stripped all the bark off by holding it, turning it, stripping it off with its incisor teeth and working right away along. And we can still see the point at the end where the beavers have taken off at quite a steep angle separated it from the tree. But again, unlike a saw cut, if we have a close look, we can see those double grooves in it as well. This has been a busy area for beaver activity, and the field team down here at Knapdale monitor all of these sites every month. And how we tag the sites, and as I mean by collections of areas of felling of trees, is by marking them with either string or wool. And here we can see the last time the field staff were out, they've marked this stump with a little piece of string just to say, to recognise that we've already counted that, so it's not double counted the next time. And throughout the 5-year period of the trial, we will be out surveying all of these field signs every month to build up a picture of how the beaver expands and uses different areas of woodland around all of the lochs within the trial site. So that gives us a lot of scientific data on how it has an effect on this woodland and this wetland as a whole.